Oh, no, that's fine. I got it. And now, live from the Steel Twins recording studio in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan, it's your boys, the Cannonball, the Cannon, the Steel Twins. What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means.
That's right, voice acting night, baby.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, as always. So this episode, we are going to turn back the clock a little bit, and we're going to build some stuff up right out of the gate. Steel Twins Andy, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this news. We had a really big drop this morning from Nintendo via Nintendo Direct with more details about the Nintendo Switch 2. That's right.
So if I may interject here for a little bit. So basically, I viewed the latest Nintendo Direct earlier this morning, and I did find a few interesting features of this Nintendo Switch 2. Introducing Game Chat, where you can actually see other of your best friends playing other games or the same game with you, and you can even see their faces via the Nintendo Switch camera. There's also backwards compatibility, which is always a good thing. There's it also broadcasts in 1080 full HD, 1080p, and 120 frame rates per second, and the screen of that is larger than the first Nintendo Switch. So are the Joy-Cons and the control sticks.
Yep.
That said, the first game that was ever released for that was Mario Kart World. Very interesting game.
The first game introduced in the Nintendo Direct drop is right. Mario Kart World, which sounds intriguing. Can you tell us more about it?
Well, it's you can race up to 24 other racers in the Grand Prix. You can also enter the brand new Knockout Tour, where you race the entire world until you hit a checkpoint and you do not reach the proper place in which you got knocked out.
Yep. So that sounds like fun. It's kind of like King of the Hill almost. So yeah, we're not sure when. Mark your calendars though. We are aware of this. The new hardware drops on June the 5th. That is a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
And speaking of, and on the same day, and the biggest highlight of this drop to me, especially when it comes to my Nostalgic Monday streams, Nintendo Switch Online will now feature Nintendo GameCube games.
Yeah,
that's right.
Remember when they were talking about how they were going to make a compatibility for GameCube games with the first Switch? Well, they decided to do it for the second one. Better late than never, but I'm very excited to hear that news.
Yeah, and so I posted two questions. I posted a question on the Twitch page and the Facebook page. Your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2? Feel free to drop by and show us your feedback.
Yep. Or go watch that Nintendo Direct if you haven't seen it already. So I think. So we're about to hit up case number 3 in Prosecutor's Gambit, called Turnabout Legacy. It's another flashback case. It's one of these flashback cases where, you go back in time and it kind of builds to the present story. So we'll find out what happened 18 years ago. Ooh.
So what happened before the DL6 incident, man?
Yep, it's an incident called the IS-7 incident. So that'll be fun. So, man, I think we've had about enough of preamble. Let's say we get to kick off here. So,
yeah, buddy.
If you have a cap to your bottle or a pin on your can, hold on a second. Ooh, Daddy, Scott Ryan has liked the stream. Thank you so much, my friend.
Yeah, buddy.
Now let
Daddy.
Let me test this out real quick. There we go. I tested it just so it says. But yeah,
sorry,
buddy.
I was late on that.
No, that's cool. That's all good. So, If you have a cap to your bottle or a pin on your can, you go ahead and pull that pin back or twist that cap off.
With a twisty twist, yes.
Hey, package. What time is it?
It's time to get bombed.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Ooh, it's good for what ails ya.
Orange dreamsicle from Rain, baby. You can't beat that.
Yep, thank you, Scott Ryan, for that recommendation. I can't get enough of it. Live scene.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's get up in the mood. And hang on a second. There's a missing box here. You'd give me 2 seconds while we jam out to this. Let's see.
I'm not.
Hocus Pocus, Flippity Flam, a Razzmatazz, and Alakazam. There he is. There you go. So let's get into this.
Am I hearing the music?
Are you?
No, I'm not.
Uh-oh.
Wait,
Well, we tested this before we started, and now... Hang on 1 second. I won't go to break. I'll just... I'm going to try something really quick here, kids.
Okay.
We tried this before we went live, and he could hear it before.
I hear it now.
There we go. The old turn it off and turn it back on Gambit. So let's get in here.
Let's do it.
Do it, do it, do it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
He likes to move it, move it. We like to move it.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you putting up with our bad jokes. So anyway, I'm so glad we got out of that prison. Holy smokes. New items unlocked in the gallery. All right, so we will... Yep, so we are going to play from this save data. It is time to attack. It's time to attack episode 3, and we will say what it is when we press go. So, there's only one leg left to do, package.
Good news. The check cleared. It's go time.
Episode 3, Turnabout, Legacy.
What shall we make today, kids?
Samson.
And Judy's baked and bold.
Your 3 p.m. cake extravaganza. Macarons, waffles with cream, chiffon cakes that are light as a dream.
Laugh and sing, smile, it's true. All that sweetness waiting for you.
Look there.
What, where?
Over there. The oven's got something special to share. Ding. Now let's see what we got
let's
for
see
you.
what we got for you. It's cooking time. Are you ready to make something special together?
Trip down memory lane. Wow. Talk about a blast from the past. Hey, Gregory. I'm going back there tomorrow with your boy. Finally gonna find out what happened 18 years ago.
18 years ago.
We're turning
Y'all
back the
boys,
clock.
man.
Yeah, we all boys better be ready.
Yeah. Man, I want to get your tissues ready, too, down the future. April 2nd, 10:05 a.m., Zodiac Hall, Fountain. Funny enough as it is, today is April 2nd. And I'm like,
Interesting.
what? Well, Fender, are you finally going to tell me what we're doing here? Why have you brought me to an art gallery of all places?
Hey, you had nothing going on. Seemed like the perfect chance to come up and enjoy the magic of star sign stuff together.
I'm leaving.
Hey, chill, big guy. I'm just joking. You know about the IS-7 incident, yeah? Your old man's last case?
Of course. Von Karma took great pleasure in showing me the files as soon as I became a prosecutor. And I reviewed them again last night after your invite. See?
There they are.
I was also present at the trial all those years ago, although my memories of it are somewhat hazy. Run it back. As a child, I was completely in awe of my father. The sight of him in court was inspirational. Gregory Edgeworth, attorney at law. And opposite him, the man who would become my mentor, Manfred von Karma. It was quite a case. However, it ended with the conviction of the accused.
Ah, so you were there too? You were in the courtroom for Gregory's final outing? Well, that'll make explaining things easier. I wanted you to know something, see? That something being what really went down. Not the truth in those files, but the capital T truth. It was 18 years ago, smack dab in the middle of a real doozy of a winter. The buildings were covered with a blanket of snow. Looked like the streets were lined with popsicles. But things weren't so innocent behind those frozen doors. In fact, some pretty sordid stuff went down.
All right.
This was back before yours truly was the fine figure of an attorney you see before you today. Now we're really running it back.
18 years ago.
December 24th, 5 p.m. Detention Center. Visitors room. Wow, Christmas Eve. Goddamn.
Yes.
All right.
Wow. Hey, Mr. E, this one really came out of the blue, huh?
Did. We were called in before the ink on the arrest papers was even dry. My name is Gregory Edgeworth. I'm a defense attorney. I'm here visiting a client with my assistant, Eddie Fender.
We're on Christmas Eve. What's the war coming to?
In the dark of
This-
the night, at the end of the day, I saw two timely saviors a-coming my way. Welcome, my friends, to the visitor's room, and if we're not friends yet, I'm sure we will be soon.
Whoa! Talk about an entrance.
Even the guards like jazz hands.
I was not expecting that.
Neither was I. Sorry if I surprised you. I'm just so happy to see you both. Thanks so much for coming out. Seriously, I can't thank you enough. You're the accused, I take it. I am. Gregory Edgeworth, attorney at law, at your service. I look forward to representing you. This is my assistant, Eddie Fender.
Pleased to meet you, sir. I'll do everything I can to help.
Come now, Edward. Calm down, please. You'll have to forgive him. He's still new to this. He's been helping me out part-time, but he's far from fully fledged lawyer material yet. Nonetheless, I'm hoping he'll be of some assistance in investigating the particulars of this case. Gregory and Eddie, it's an honor to meet you both. My job as a defense attorney is to save my clients from wrongful convictions. So the first thing to do is to establish whether or not he is truly innocent. Perhaps we could begin by having you tell us a little about yourself. What am I thinking? I haven't even told you my name. I'm Samson Tangaroa. Yeah, so he's kind of got an island boy theme to him.
What? It really is you? You're Samson Tangaroa, the world's greatest confectioner?
You flatter me, my young friend, and call me Samson. All my pals do.
Wow, thanks, Samson. I will. I can't believe I'm meeting you in person.
Seems Eddie knows something of our client.
Mr. E, it's the Samson Tangaroa, the singing, dancing, confectionery making sensation.
What shall we make today, kids?
Macarons, waffles and cream, Jif and cakes that are light as a dream.
Laugh and sing, smile, it's true. All that sweetness waiting for you. Look there.
What? Where?
Over there. The oven's got something special to share. Ding. Now let's see what we got for you. I hope we don't have to do this like 50 times. I almost started dancing along.
No way! I got to sing with Samson Tangaroa. This is a dream come true.
Thanks, little pal. It means a lot to hear you say that. My apologies, but I think we need to discuss the matter at hand. Of course, I'm sure you're both very busy. All right, where would you like me to start? Samson Tangaroa, tell me how I'm doing with the Gregory Edgeworth voice and see if I need to give me feedback.
So far, so good.
So you're not just a confectioner, but also a singer and a dancer? I sure am. When I'm having fun, my body just starts moving. You must really enjoy making desserts. Wouldn't be much of a confectioner if I didn't. I live to make sweets that will bring joy to others.
Hey, they're not just things, they're works of art. Sparkling, dazzling, mouth-watering creations, the stuff that dreams are made of.
So he aims to create joyous and inspirational pieces, does he? About the incident. I understand that the incident in question happened at your mansion. It did. We were holding an international confectionery contest there when a body was found inside one of my creations. Whoa. What?
What?
That's awful.
Inside one of you? No way.
The detective in charge placed me under arrest because of it, and now, here I am. But I could never take a life. Never. I'm sure the police will see that too in time. They'll realize their mistake.
I sure hope so.
I'm parched, my friend.
Gotta hydrate.
And what can you tell us about the victim? His name is Eddie Frost. He was taking part in the contest. Mr. Frost was a wonderful confectioner. His creations were things of real beauty. I just don't understand. Why did he have to die? I'm sorry. He seems genuinely upset over the victim's death. I think I have a pretty good measure of the man now. Mr. Tangaroa, there's just one last thing I need to confirm with you. You didn't kill Mr. Frost, correct? Correct. I swear to you I didn't do it. Like I told you, I could never take a life. Never. He seems quite sincere. All right, I'm gonna take you at your word. Thank you for being so forthright with me. Likewise, it's good to talk to somebody other than those detectives. We'll head to the scene of the crime and see what we can learn. We'll be in touch when we have something more to tell you. Goodbye, Gregory. Goodbye, Eddie. I'm counting on you both.
And away we go. December 24th, 6 p.m. Contest venue, Fountain Room.
Oh, look, there's his partner.
Yep, that's... It's pretty cold out there, huh, Mr. E? I never saw so much snow.
Yes, it doesn't seem like it will be letting up anytime soon.
But just look at this place. What a sweet house Samson's got. What a sweet house. It's huge. What a sweet house Samson's got. What a sweet house Samson's got. What a sweet house Samson's got. It's huge. 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 What a sweet house
Yes, big enough to hold an international confectionery contest, no less.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. Come on in. We'll have us some fun.
So that...
Oh, no. Are you all right? I'm sorry. Would you happen to be Mr. Gregory Edgeworth by any chance?
I would. It's a pleasure to meet you. Notice how smooth he was when he was dodging that tablecloth.
I'm Eddie Fender, Mr. Edgeworth's assistant.
Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, welcome to our humble abode. Judy Bound, it's an honor to meet you both.
Hold that thought for a second here. Now, in the fan translation, she was also known as Catherine Hall, or as the pun would say, Catering Hall.
But anyway,
a legitimate name that turned out to be a ridiculous pun. But yeah, this is Judy Bound.
I'm the housekeeper here, and Mr. Tangaroa's assistant.
You know, housekeeper, you're Judy Bound, the Judy Bound.
You know a little something of my work?
A little? I watch you on TV every chance I get. I'm Bacon Bob's biggest fan.
It's very kind of you to say so. We'd be nothing without our fans.
and what might Bake and Bop be?
It's only the biggest show on TV. Every kid on the planet loves it. And the dynamic duo of Samson and Judy make delicious sweet stuff, all while singing and dancing. Kind of trying to channel my inner Timon the meerkat. Remember him?
Yes, I do. Hey, I think you're doing a good job.
Thanks. Like this. Check it out.
Oh, boy.
What shall we make today, kids? Cookie dough, caramel too, fluffy sugar cream, tiramisu.
Everyone, come along. Bacon treats with a smile and a song.
Oh, well, who?
There, it's true. The oven's got something special for you. Just take a bite and you will see. That was a wonderful performance, Mr. Fender. Bravo.
I dance along every time I watch the show.
Perhaps Miles might enjoy it too. I'll suggest it later.
But all this dancing really takes it out of a guy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm the world's worst hostess. Here, nothing relaxes the body and mind quite like a cup of tea.
So this is making some stuff.
Ooh, nice.
This is Ceylon, correct? It's delicious. Its citrus aroma is said to improve one's ability to concentrate, as I recall.
Interesting. So this is what Ceylon tea tastes like, huh?
How odd. The saucer's cold.
Huh?
Yes, it's so that the tea cools down more quickly, I'm afraid. Some of our guests don't like it too hot.
I see. These teacups are very unique too. The design is really something.
You think so? Thank you so much. I ordered them all the way from France. They're my absolute favorite. They were designed by a marvelous sculptor named Paul Halik. Have you ever heard of him? He makes the most amazing tableware in the world.
You're clearly a big fan of his work.
Oh, I am. These teacups are my greatest treasure.
She's certainly not afraid to show when she's passionate about something. If you don't mind, Miss Bound, I'd like to move on to the reason we're here. Can you tell us everything you know about the unfortunate incident that occurred earlier?
Of course. I'm sorry for getting so distracted. I guess I'm still in shock. Because I'm the one who found the body, you see.
Whoa, what? Oh, damn. You discovered the victim? Is it true that the body was recovered from inside one of Mr. Tangaroa's creations?
It is. We are in the middle of the contest's final judgment phases when I heard the sound of something big collapsing coming from Samson's room.
Oh!
Samson, are you in here? Ah! I opened the door and went inside, and it was Mr. Frost's body.
Thank you. I'm sorry to make you relive such a traumatic experience.
Think nothing of it, please. I only wish I had more to tell you.
Now, if you don't mind, Miss Bound, I'd like to begin our investigation of the crime scene.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Fender, you have to save Samson. He's no murderer. He could never do something like that.
Of course.
Leave it to us, Miss Bound.
Thank you so much. I'll go serve the others their tea then.
Come, Eddie. Come, Eddie, to the scene of the crime.
Yes, sir, Mr. E.
Oh, there, that's a familiar face. Look at that. And his coat doesn't have as many holes in it either. December 24th, contest venue, Tangaroa's room. Look at all that. That is quite the confection.
Yes. Oh, boy. No way. Everything in this room's made of chocolate. I can't believe I'm getting to see so many of Samson's creations this up close and personal.
I might be more excited myself if the room wasn't a murder scene.
Just hearing you say that sends a shiver down my spine.
That might just be the temperature in here. It's rather cold.
Yeah, now that you mention it, it's pretty chill. Shoo!
Defense on the scene already? That was fast. A pleasure to meet you. Gregory Edgeworth. I'm representing Mr. Tangaroa. This is my assistant, Eddie Fender.
Nice to meet you.
Bad. Detective Tyrell Bad.
The detective in charge is named Bad. Made in a few words. Something about this just doesn't taste right.
Why is he swallowing? You're eating your notepaper? He likes to chew over his thoughts rather literally, I'm afraid. It helps him to digest and remember them. It's a little quirk of his. Please try to ignore it. Although I'd be the first to admit that's easier said than done. With introductions out of the way, Detective Bad, would you mind if we joined you in investigating the scene? Sorry, not gonna happen.
What? How come? Mr. Edgeworth is Mr. Tangaroa's attorney.
Yeah, and attorneys will do anything to get them off the hook, even put words in their clients' mouths. You think I need that on my crime scene?
Mr. Edgeworth would never do something like that.
I don't trust attorneys, okay, kid? Detective, you established my client's supposed guilt based on an investigation of the crime scene, correct? It's usually how it works. Yeah, what of it? Then extend me the same courtesy. I believe he is innocent, and I would like the chance to prove it. You believe he's innocent? And you didn't even see the scene yet? That's some flimsy lawyering. That's exactly why I wish to see the scene for myself. I need to ensure that my belief is based on solid evidence and sound reasoning. You about to tell me you're not leaving until I let you look over the scene? I am. Fine, knock yourselves out. Thank you, Detective. But I'm coming around with you. Like I said, I don't trust attorneys. You're good with that. Go ahead and get to it.
There was a lollipop this whole time?
I must admit, I didn't see that coming either. We'd better get started then. I'll need you to take notes, Eddie.
Aye, Mr. E.
Let's get this over with.
Begin investigation. Contest venue, Tangaroa's room.
Here's the first group of people I want to talk to. I want to talk to the forensic cops first. You can get this guy. What are you investigating, officer?
Sir, I was just taking the temperature of the water here.
And what have you learned?
Oh, it's warm, sir.
Even though the room's cold? I wonder if the water is just a warmer temperature than the room. But still, anyway.
Stream in each room flows into the main fountain, and then the water is circulated back to the rooms.
Unusual, to say the least. I've never seen a house quite like this one. Rich folks, they're all crazy. Okay, so here we go. How's it looking over here, officer? Nothing of interest in that cupboard? Or, yes, sir.
Yes.
I was going to get that guy. Yes, sir. So, there is? Oh, no. No, there isn't. Just a blowtorch used for cooking and some tableware, sir. You're the man, Mr. Attorney. Nothing to add, am I right? No. So, do you have something that... You do have something to add? Oh, no. Can't get a straight answer out of anybody. Perhaps you should ask a straight question. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's talk to this doofus. Who is this guy?
Keep an eye on him.
And you are... Who gets this guy?
You?
Sorry. Meditating. Did you want something, detective? Oh, I'm an attorney, not a detective. Gregory Edgeworth. A pleasure to meet you.
And I'm his assistant, Eddie Fender.
I see. Name's Carmelo Gusto. I'm a confectioner here for the contest.
You are? What's your specialty, Mr. Gusto?
He looks like he's Oriental or something, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to pin him down. The art of air and sugar.
No way! Look at that! It's a little baby seahorse.
It's a dragon, a noble soaring creature of the skies.
That's a dragon?
It does look more aquatic than airborne. No need to sugarcoat it. My design sense is weak. I know that better than anybody. That's why I'm heading to Shangfa when this is all over. I need to train hard. Perhaps we should get off the subject of his design sense for now. So what are you doing in here, Mr. Gusto? I didn't think they were allowing civilians on the scene yet. Detective wanted to know more about one of the pieces in here. Makes sense, seeing as he's a contestant. Perhaps I should ask him a few questions of my own. All right, Carmelo, go slow. Those are some interesting implements you use, Mr. Gusto. Sugar blowing pumps. They put air into the sugar.
They're so cool. It's like watching a sword master do his thing.
I'm no master. Not a day goes by that I don't hurt myself one way or another. That's why I wear red. That way it doesn't matter when I make a mess. The way of the confectioner is a lonely one. You never stop learning, not until you die. The way of the confectioner sounds like a long one, too, if he's still injuring himself on a daily basis. It's a confectionery contest. See, Gregory has his own I'm not impressed attitude like Edgeworth. So that's where he gets. So Edgeworth gets his attitude from his old man. Hey, I noticed something. You see that steering wheel in the room?
Yeah?
One of the spokes is missing. I'm saying I just noticed it. Anyway, let's
Intriguing.
go. What can you tell us about the contest? Based on what we've seen so far, flavor doesn't seem to be the only criteria at play. The contest was Tangaroa's idea. It's about art. Confectionery as art.
Confectionery as art.
I mean, he looks like he's a combination of Russian, Turkish. I'm getting all sorts of vibes from this weirdo. I mean, he's Carmelo Gusto. It's an Italian-sounding name, but he looks. I don't know. I'm just gonna do my best. Art you can eat, every part of it. Every single item in this room is edible.
The whole place does kind of smell like chocolate.
Tangaroa is a genius, a once-in-a-generation talent, flavor and flair. He has it all. And if you can't outdo the god of confections himself, you can't win.
I don't know, man. Beating out the greatest in the world seems kind of hard, yeah?
As it should be. Whoever beats him becomes the greatest in turn. That's the real prize here. Nothing else matters. So you're competing for a title, effectively. And a treasure. The ultimate cookbook. Tangaroa's most prized possession. If you want to know more, it's all written down here. It's the list of rules that was given out to contestants. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give him Yuri Cosmos. My own spin on that voice. That's what I'm going to do.
Try it.
See if it works.
Contest rules added to the court record.
A piece of paper listing the rules for the contest. About the incident. Sorry, I don't know much about what happened. I only heard about it after the judging was over. How was the judging organized? It started at 3 p.m. Tangaroa began making the rounds right around then. He left his own room, then worked his way around the venue clockwise. So it looks like a giant elevator thing. My creations were the first to be judged. After that, he went to Scone's room. She's another one of the contestants. What can you tell us about her? Ruthless, brutal. There's nothing she wouldn't do to win. She was working with Cream, some kind of dreamscape. Then, last of all, Frost's room. His thing was flavored ice. Sculptures this time, or so I heard. Bound found the body while Tangaroa was still making the rounds. She panicked, ran to call the cops. Tangaroa went right on judging, claims he didn't know a thing about it until afterward. Went ahead and looked over the victim's work, even though the guy was nowhere to be seen. Pretty suspicious behavior in anyone's book. I don't have enough information to challenge him on that yet. Oh, by the way, Detective Bad, what were you and Mr. Gusto talking about earlier? I was gonna ask about the piece on the wall here, the one in the frame. Seemed like something was off. Thought I'd better ask somebody who knows about this stuff. But then you bozos showed up and pulled me away from my very important work. Perhaps we can take a closer look at it together. Can't take a hint, can you? Mr. Gusto, would you mind helping us out? Of course, confectionery is my life. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you, that's very kind of you. All right, look at it. I see that the candles are, one of the candles things is missing. Candelabra, made of chocolate. It's a title here, The Light of Life. Well, this particular light seems to be missing one of its life-giving flames. Does it have some sort of symbolic meaning? Or could it be food for thought, literally?
Yeah.
What's this?
Yeah.
It's a journal belonging to the captain of the chocolate ship, also made of chocolate. A diary of despair That's some title. Come, hearken, see how we crossed the sea and rode the red tide to misery. Quite a jaunty rhyme for such a tragic-sounding tale. Look at this. There's nothing of interest here. Oop, my bad.
Who knew you could make a picture this pretty out of chocolate? Samson really is a god among men.
Is it really made of chocolate, though? It looks far too much like a regular illustration to me. You have a good eye. I'm impressed. That's no piece of candy. That's the ultimate cookbook. The ultimate cookbook. In other words, the grand prize.
What? So it's not made of chocolate after all?
Hey, do you notice those handprints on there? Somebody was trying to get to it. It looks like. I'm gonna take a peek at that. Plus, one of the designs is missing too. Oh hey, hey, what's that smell like?
I smell plot with a capital P-U.
High five, Athena.
Yeah.
No, the book is simply enframed in some. Tangaroa showed it to us. Tangaroa showed it to all of us when he gathered us here to explain the rules. So the participants knew that the grand prize was in this room the whole time. Anyway, you see it too, right? The frame. Something's missing. Ah, the oddity Detective Bad was going to ask Mr. Gusto about earlier. Yes. You're right, Detective. Something is missing from this frame. So it's not just me.
Huh? What's missing?
I'd better show Eddie which part of the frame is missing some chocolate.
This part of the frame? Right here.
Look at the decorative work in the corner here. Something's missing, no?
Oh yeah, it's different from the other side.
That's not like Tangaroa. The balance is all wrong. But that's not all. Take a look around. Every confection in this room is missing some small bit.
You're right. The candle holder, nautical stuff, they're all like that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
See that? You see that treasure map? It's folded.
Yeah, the treasure map is folded. The wheel is missing a spoke. Yeah, that's very weird. Very odd.
Did somebody deliberately damage them?
Tangaroa's creations have been tampered with in several places. That's a very good question. Or did Tangaroa just want to look like somebody messed with his work?
He'd never do that to his own creations. Never.
Could this have some deeper meaning for the case? I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention.
Well, get that handprint over there. See that?
Uh-huh. Are these finger marks? Yeah, but we don't know whose yet. Still haven't figured it out. No fingerprints, no ID. Finger marks without prints. They could certainly be important to the case. Framed finger marks added to the court record. Someone left finger marks on the chocolate frame, but didn't leave any prints.
It's really head scratch, all right.
Yeah. Not really. I'm guessing whoever it was wore gloves.
Where's your sense of romance, of adventure?
There doesn't tend to be much of either at a crime scene, Eddie.
Shoo!
Are you all right, Eddie?
Yeah, but it's chilly in here.
Yes, it wasn't exactly warm out in the fountain room either, but it's even colder in here. Would you like to borrow my jacket?
No, I'm fine. And besides, you said you'd give it to me when I finally got my attorney's badge.
I did, didn't I? Why do they have the heat down so low? Chocolate needs to be kept at the right temperature. Take a look behind that panel on the wall. What panel? Oh.
Look at that. It was here this whole time.
There's one in each of the contest rooms. Tangaroa hid them so they wouldn't spoil the aesthetic of our works. And what do the controls do? They adjust the temperature and the lighting. Goes all the way down to minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to keep any confectionery from melting. So in effect, each room is a giant freezer.
Yeah, it's 59 degrees in here. No wonder I'm cold.
He's just got some thin arteries, brother.
Hey, Detective Bat, you, mind if we turn it up a little?
Preservation of the crime scene is the foundation of detective work.
But I'm not a detective.
The same goes for attorneys, Eddie. We must never disturb the scene of the crime. Get used to the cold. It's all part of your training. Chocolate needs to be kept between 59 and 65 degrees. There's no way around it. You know the temperatures by heart, huh? Guess it's your job. It's the very least I should know. Any real confectioner should be able to tell you that and more. All right, what about lollipops and cream? If it's not too hot or too humid, a lollipop should be fine just about anywhere. Cream needs to be kept at around 50 degrees. Need to watch out for heat and humidity, huh? Duly noted.
Detective Bag kind of brightened up when he was talking about lollipops, didn't he?
I suppose he must be very fond of them. I don't believe there's any more to be found here. So,
Oh, not quite.
Let's back out of here and then...
Get to that wheel. Or what do you want? Where do you want to go?
Well, I wanted to look at the coffin, but yeah, we can look here too. This is a fine selection of nautical paraphernalia. You think one of them could be the murder weapon? No, they're all made out of chocolate. You'd have a hard time bludgeoning somebody to death with one of them. Can't tell what's real in here. They really do look genuine. I can hardly tell the difference myself. A true testament to Mr. Tangaroa's skills. Let me look at the body. And there's a coin in there. So this is where the body was discovered. Yeah, they took it away already. But everything else is just how we found it. It appears the body was inside the treasure chest. Yeah, woman by the name of Bound found it.
Samson, are you in here?
Seems she heard something breaking and came in to see what it was. What was the sound Bound heard coming from Tangaroa's room? If only we'd get just a little more information. There's something else in here. Huh? Looks like a seal of some kind, with somebody's initials in an intricate shape carved into it. H flag? What?
I don't know. Is it for making those fancy wax things on documents? You think it belonged to the victim?
No idea, but it's got to get logged anyway, so I'll take that. Seal added to the court record. A seal that was found near the body when it was discovered. What could the design signify? It's really rather impressive making an entire ship out of chocolate.
That's Samson Tangaroa for you. Don't you just want to take a big bite out of it? Which part to bite first, though? That's the real head scratch, you know.
Bite any part of it, kid, and you'll be off this crime scene so fast your head'll spin.
Hey, it was just a joke. Stop staring at me like that.
I do sometimes wish Eddie could keep his cool a little better. Yeah. Let's see.
Look to the right.
Oh, yeah, there's more. Voyage of the Red Rover. It's titled Voyage of the Red Rover. After sailing the 7 seas, the legendary ship happens upon a great treasure at last. This piece is a tribute to the adventurous spirit of our ancestors. Who knew? So they sailed 6 whole seas before they found anything? Not exactly the luckiest crew out there. Sometimes you gotta take a bunch of wrong turns before you find the truth. That's what being a real detective is all about. I wonder if those are some prophetic words. Did they even have detectives back in those days?
Yeah, hold that thought for a second. You know I've activated Stream Deck. You can still use that, you know.
I know. We have the button on. Yeah, the
buttons
for the
don't work?
No, the buttons work just fine. It's just that I find that using the mouse is actually easier.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
You do you, boo-boo.
Anyway, can we start putting some pieces together? Sound of something breaking, damaged creations.
That may be.
I'm gonna try it.
Nope.
Oh, there's no connection there.
No.
Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, you got to get more information.
Yep, absolutely.
Why is it still incomplete? It should have been like
Let's see what else. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Here's
what's
this.
that thing?
It looks like a part of the rudder. One of the stands for the ship is broken. The ship collapsed because of one of its stands broke. That's our piece. Yeah, that might be it.
The ship must have collapsed onto the treasure chest and smashed it open. Wait, you think? Could that be how the victim died? Was he crushed by that ship?
If he was, this becomes an accidental death and not a murder. You two serious? Don't worry, Detective. For the moment, we're simply discussing a possibility.
I was being serious, though. Now you...
Detective, can you tell us a little more about the state of the victim's body? Let me see. Got a picture here someplace. You can see for yourselves. Death was from blunt force trauma. The victim was struck and killed with some kind of blunt object. Right on top of the head. And what about the weapon? Has it been found yet? You can ask the prosecutor in charge about that. The detective's not one for sharing. The detective's not one for sharing much, I see. Would you mind if we borrowed this? No skin off my nose. It's not like it's official. Bound took it with an instant camera when she found the body.
An instant camera? Like it's disposable or something?
No, it means that it develops the pictures right there and then when you take them.
No way. Sounds pretty convenient.
Now then, I better get my facts straight and take down some notes of my own. There's something in this picture that contradicts with the current crime scene. I'll need to call on my powers of deduction to figure out why. Crime scene notes added to the court record. Notes about the crime scene. The police have taken custody of the body. All right, so let's start putting some stuff together. So, sound of something breaking and the broken stand. The stand broke and the ship collapsed with it, and the loud sound it made brought Ms. Bound running. Yeah, said the ship had already keeled over by the time she got in here. But why did the stand collapse? What caused it to break? Why did the chocolate stand supporting the ship break? And maybe the whole thing was off balance from the get-go. Could that really have been the case? Okay, let's see. Damaged creation. Did somebody break it on purpose? I'm gonna try it. All of Mr. Tangaroa's creations are missing a little piece each, including one of the stands that was holding up the ship. Somebody really went all out.
You think it could have been the killer?
It's certainly a possibility. Either way, I think we can safely say the stand was damaged in our mystery person's tampering spree. And when it broke, the ship fell and smashed open the treasure chest, which would have remained closed otherwise. Okay, but there's something contradictory about the crime scene, right?
Yeah, so look at it.
What is it? Notice anything? You're doing this all wrong. An investigation is like a popsicle. You walk around the scene, look at stuff, talk to witnesses. Everything you do is like a lick of that popsicle. Slowly, you eat away at it. Until all that's left is the stick, and written on that stick is the truth. And then I suppose I better hope it doesn't say guilty. So let's talk to him about the scene of the crime. Nothing has been moved since the body was found, correct? Preserve the scene. That's rule number 1 of any investigation. They took the body away, but everything else untouched. Could you tell us a little more about the state of the body before it was taken away? Bound took a picture. You have to make do with that, Mr. Lawyer. I get the feeling that the good detective is none too fond of defense attorneys.
We do have a viewer on YouTube, by the way.
Probably best not to rely too much on him and search the scene for clues and contradictions myself. Okay, I mean, like, no shit, he kept saying he doesn't trust attorneys. Okay, so that's all set. He's all set. He's all set.
Hey, look at the crime scene itself. See what contradicts.
Well, there's more here. I don't believe there's any more to be found here. Except, let's look at this button. Looks like a fire alarm. Yeah, and before you start prodding it, it's not made of chocolate. Push it, bells will start ringing. People will come running from the security room. Whole bunch of hassle. So don't. I know you want to, but don't. Honestly, the thought hadn't even crossed my mind. Typical attorney. What does an attorney have to do with anything?
What does being an attorney have to do with anything?
What does being an attorney have to do with anything? So, okay. Okay, we talked to him. We haven't seen this yet. There's some very tasteful tableware here, along with some kitchen utensils. This tea set is of the same design as the one Ms. Bound served us with earlier.
You think Samson could have been drinking tea out of that?
Hey, there's a hole in it. Get a look at it.
Well,
the pot and cup were dusted for prints. His were the only ones they found. And was that the case for the utensils, too? Everything else had been washed, so there weren't any prints to find. Mr. Tangaroa was wearing gloves while he was working on his confectionaries. That could explain why prints were only found on the teapot and cup. Mr. Tangaroa's teapot added to the court record a Paul Halik piece with Tangaroa's fingerprints on it. Look at that, there's a pair of gloves here. Gloves. Tangaroa wore them when he was working on his masterpiece over there. They're conveniently good at hiding fingerprints, too. I suppose it's possible to employ them in such a manner, but is it really all that suspicious to find a pair of gloves in a kitchen like this? I'm a detective. Everything's suspicious. That's the job. Okay. Now, okay, we can talk to Eddie, see what he knows.
a real crime scene. This is so exciting.
This isn't a game, Eddie. I need you to take it seriously.
Don't worry, Miss D. I'm taking notes on everything.
You are? What kind of notes?
Notes about how all this delicious stuff is made. Can't wait to try it for myself.
I'm not playing around, Edward. Take this seriously.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
Where's the contradiction? I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention.
All right, time to do something.
Yeah, but
See
what
if there's
are we
something wrong.
deducing? I mean, the seal is probably something wrong, but what evidence do we have in the court record? So obviously, his attorney's badge proof his possession, a piece of paper listing rules for the contest. Let's look at it. Prizes, the ultimate cookbook, the title of the world's greatest confectioner.
Rules. Judging will proceed clockwise from the leftmost room. All contestants to gather in Mr. Tangaroa's room when the judging ends. 2. Non-confectionery items may not be used as a decoration. Stands and display materials will be provided. 3. Contestants may not enter another contestant's room until judging has been completed.
So maybe it's rule number 2. Non-confectionery items may not be used as decoration. What's that seal doing in there then? Someone left finger marks. There was a seal. Crime scene notes. Okay, there's a notes about the crime scene. Let's read them. The victim's body was found in Samson Tangaroa's room inside a chocolate treasure chest. The cause of death appears to have been blood loss following blunt force trauma. Here's the picture. Okay, so I guess nothing more was found. So, okay, there's a contradiction. Yeah, look at that. Where's the blood? Could this be related to the evidence somehow?
Eureka!
You said the only thing that has been removed from the scene is the body? Yeah, that and the piece of cloth it was wrapped in. Then something here doesn't quite add up. It doesn't? Take another look at the scene in front of us, Detective. A very conspicuous pool of blood that should be here is clearly missing. Huh. You're right. Don't remember anybody mentioning they removed the blood along with the body. Let me check with forensics.
What is it, Mr. E? What'd you figure out?
Compare the treasure chest in the photograph to the real thing. In the picture, the solid chocolate bottom continues underneath the deceased's head. And yet, that part of the chest is now gone.
What with the blood all over it?
Exactly. So did the police remove it? Or perhaps the killer? It wasn't forensics. They're saying nobody took anything like that away. Interesting. So somebody deliberately removed the blood from the scene? Could be. Crime scene notes updated in the court record. Notes about the crime scene, the police have taken custody of the body. Investigation complete.
Refill. Nice job.
I think we're about done here for now. And more updated again. Well, if I wasn't convinced before, I am now. Tangaroa did it. No two ways about it.
What do you mean?
All the rooms in this place lock from the inside. The only way to unlock them from the outside is with this key. I see. And who had access to that key? Who do you think? Tangaroa. And it's the only one. There aren't any copies. Mansion key added to the court record. The one and only key that unlocks every door in the mansion. Tangaroa was in possession of it the entire time. With the mansion key, Tangaroa could slip into anybody else's room anytime he liked. And he could even lock his own room from the outside if he wanted. But Mr. Tangaroa's room wasn't locked, was it? Nope, which is exactly what makes him a suspect. Would you care to explain your thinking? Oh boy, here we go. Having a little
Time for
debate.
battle of wits.
Why
I think Tangaroa did.
If the door had been locked when the body was found, Tangaroa would have been the obvious suspect, which is why he deliberately didn't lock his room. And why he smashed in the lid of the treasure chest, so the body was on full display. Everyone was supposed to gather in his room when the judging finished up, so he made it look like the murder happened while he wasn't there. One thing he didn't plan on was bound finding the body. Anyway, that's my thinking on this whole thing. Good enough for you, Mr. Attorney? Do you also believe it was Mr. Tangaroa who damaged the other pieces in this room? Yep. I know you have to believe your client. That's your job. But I'm a detective, and I serve the law. And no matter how squeaky clean somebody might seem, a suspect is still a suspect. I fully understand your reasoning, Detective. Now, would you mind if I applied a little critical thinking of my own? Do your worst. Just as the detective won't compromise his devotion of the law, I won't compromise my beliefs either. And I'm not about to just accept his version of events. In fact, I'm going to show him the piece of evidence that highlights the contradiction in his claims.
All right, let him have it, Greg. Time for rebuttal.
If the door had been locked when the body was found, Tangaroa would have been the obvious suspect. Just why he deliberately didn't lock his room, and why he smashed in the lid of the treasure chest so his body was on full display. Okay, part of me wants to present from here. You see, everyone was supposed to gather in his room when the judging finished up. Hold on, let's just take a quick look at this. Contestants may not enter another contestant's room until judging has been completed. All contestants to gather in Mr. Tangaroa's room when judging ends. Okay, that's right. Everyone's supposed to gather in his room when the judging finished up. Okay, that's fine. So he made it look like the murder happened while he wasn't there. But okay, Tangaroa's room is the first one, so we went clockwise. What does story mode tell us? I suspect it's statement number 3. And
Yeah,
so the
I
body was,
don't even. Yeah, it's a blunt force object, but
Objection. We've established that the body was hidden inside the chest, and that Ms. Bound only came running into this room when she heard a sound. It seems reasonable to infer that the sound was that of the chocolate boat collapsing. Sure, seems likely, based on the evidence. And yet you assert that it was Mr. Tangaroa who had smashed the lid of the chest. I believe this photo makes it clear that it was the ship that did the smashing. And if that had occurred only moments before Ms. Bound had entered the room, then it couldn't have been broken by Mr. Tangaroa, who was out judging the contest at that time. Hold it. I never said he did it then and there. He could have done something to the stand so it'd collapse when he was in the middle of judging. Objection. Have you any way of proving that assertion? Nope. But the investigation isn't over yet. There's still time. So he doesn't have anything conclusive. Have you found any prints in this room besides those of Mr. Tangaroa? Yep, on the door. But we found Tangaroa's and Frost's prints on there too. We were all brought in here for a briefing right before we started work on our creations. Those prints are probably from then. I take it you haven't checked any of Mr. Tangaroa's works for prints yet? Why would... We know that somebody tampered with them. Therefore, it's possible they left some prints behind when they did so. Fine. When we don't find anything, your guy's still top of my list. Got it? You, check out all this chocolate stuff for prints. Now!
yes, sir, right away. Detective Bad. We finished dusting the chocolate, and we found prints that don't belong to Mr. Tangaroa, sir.
Go on. Whose?
Delicious Scone, sir. She's one of the contestants.
Oh, so what's she doing with this thing, huh? Good work. You can go back to whatever you were investigating before.
Yes, sir.
So it seems we have a suspect besides Mr. Tangaroa. Even without your lawyerly input, I wasn't about to wrap up the investigation anyway. I'll go speak to Miss Scone and see what she has to say for herself. Delicious Scone. Mr. Gusto mentioned her too. He said that she was ruthless, that she'd do anything to win.
This Scone lady sounds like a pretty suspicious character, huh, Mr. E?
Yes, I think we'd better try to speak with her ourselves as well. Detective Bad, would you mind if we accompanied you? Babysitting you is not my job.
Oh, come on.
But I guess you did pick up a couple useful clues already. So if you want to tag along, be my guest. Thank you, Detective. You're too kind.
But Detective Bad, sir. I don't think that's such a good idea. The lead prosecutor is still busy in there.
It'll be fine. Me and him don't exactly see eye to eye anyhow.
Wait till you see what that prosecutor is. Who is this him? Who did they assign the case to?
Manfred von Karma. Oh, no. Oh, boy.
What? They gave it to Von Karma? He hasn't lost the case in 25 years.
Manfred von Karma, a living legend over at the prosecutor's office. We've never faced one another in the courtroom, but I've heard plenty of stories. They say he'll do anything to ensure a guilty verdict. But I can't let that distract me. For now, I need only continue to do what I believe is right. To be continued. So we're only an hour and 11 in.
Let's keep going.
We move forward.
And if it happens to be a little bit too much, like if it's past like the
if we get like to
mark,
2.5 hours, we might just cut it short. But let's keep going. As we all say, da-da-da-da-da-da, charge! I love saying that. December 24th, 7:30 p.m. Contest venue, Scones Room.
Look at this. Look at that contraption. Whoa! A candy castle. And look, there are even some little elves to go with it.
Oh my. And rooms laid out pretty much the same as Tangaroa's.
It's not as cold though. That's something.
Let's see. Yeah, looks like there's a temperature control panel in here too.
Over there where that orange light is. Right?
We'd better take a closer look at it when we can. It's like a fairy tale storybook in here. And this whipped cream covered construction must be the work of Miss Delicia Scone. Where is Miss Scone?
I see her. Me? Oh, me? Why, I'm just over here, dearie. Oh, just look at you lovely boys. Delicia Scone at your service. Some cheeky blighters back in Bright even call me Miss Delicious.
Called a lovely boy at 34. Unexpected, to say the least.
Lovely boys? Really? Even Mr. E? Oh, yes, dear. You, the detective over there. You're all lovely boys to me.
I'm nobody's lovely boy, lady. Name's Bad. I wonder just how old she is. Finish this up so we can get out of here, Mr. Attorney. Yes, all right.
Hold on a second.
Objection! What's the meaning of this chit-chatting with the defense?
Mr. Edgeworth! Some scary guy just stepped out of the castle!
Von Karma.
What? He's Manfred von Karma? Sorry, mannequins.
The notorious prosecutor Von Karma himself. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Von Karma. Gregory Edgeworth, attorney at law.
I couldn't care less what your name is. Your job is to lose to me and disappear, never to show your slithering face again.
What a thoroughly rude individual.
Those piercing eyes, that furrowed brow. You're even scarier than they say.
And you might want to keep such rude thoughts to yourself, Eddie. We were hoping you might permit us to carry out some brief inquiries, Mr. Von Karma.
And why would I wish to extend you any such courtesy?
This clearly isn't going to be easy.
So long as your inquiries are limited to this room, I suppose I'll allow it.
Why the sudden change of heart?
You, the tall fellow.
Name's bad. That's so hard to remember.
I didn't ask for your opinion. The thoughts of a lowly detective do not concern me. But I do admire your spirit. Bad, see to it that these worms don't step out of line.
Why do I have to?
I am not offering you a choice, detective. I need to go and look over Gusto's room. Good day.
Great. More babysitting. Why aren't Detective Bad and Mr. Von Karma investigating together? They don't seem to know each other well enough for there to be bad blood between them.
Well, looks like we have permission to investigate. Guess we better get to it.
Indeed. I'm not sure I trust Mr. Von Karma's motives, but at least we can do that much. Hold up. I haven't been over this room yet either. You're not messing it up before I get my chance. You'll have to wait till I'm done.
Huh? But I thought you were the lead detective. How come you didn't take a look at this room yet?
Because I wasn't the first one they assigned. One of Von Karma's pets was on the job before me. Right up until just now, in fact. I got here not long before you did. That answers my questions as to why they're working separately, I suppose. What say we look over the room together, Detective? It worked out well enough before. Then you won't have to worry about us messing things up. You can keep an eye on us as we go. What kind of screwball attorney asks to have a detective breathing down his neck? Guess I'm stuck with you for a little while longer.
Yes! You're amazing, Mr. E.
You have our thanks, Detective Bad. Don't be too grateful. This is my scene. The second you get in my way, you're out of here. Of course, we understand. Now shall we begin?
Begin investigation. Contest venue, Stone's room.
Well, let's talk to the cop that's sitting there. I'll get this guy. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. If you turn around, you'll eat it. You can't eat the castle. Don't eat the castle. I guess he's watching his sugar intake. Some use you are, pal. There's a blowtorch and some chemicals here. I guess it's all for cooking with. I wonder what these chemicals are. Let's take a look at the labels. Mango Down 911? Homicyanide 247? Wait, they're all poisons? No, sir. They're common colorings and flavorings used in candies and desserts. The first is concentrated mango, boiled down to its purest essence. Hence, Mango Down. They're asking for trouble with a name like that. Now I'm curious as to what homicyanide might be. Jesus, that's suspicious enough. All right, let's look at the fridge. Actually, no, let's look at the temperature panel. There's a small door on the wall here, just like Mr. Tangaroa's room. Here, I'll open it.
Temperature 68 degrees. Light set to green.
Didn't Gusto say cream needs to be kept at 50 degrees? Temperature in here's too high. The temperature of Scone's room isn't suitable for whipped cream. Well, that's interesting. That is odd. I wonder why. It's a cute little elf made of candy, and it's sitting on a little tree stump. Huh? The whipped cream decorations around it are beginning to lose their shape. but the elf seems completely fine. Strange. So probably the elves aren't made of. Oh, it's a step. Here we go. What's the matter? Something weird about the ladder? It's not a ladder, Detective Bad. It's a step ladder. Same difference. Far from it, actually. You'd know if you observed their basic natures more closely.
Amazing, Mr. E. I'll have to remember this for future reference.
Yeah,
man.
That is a.
The argument about stepladders continues.
Yep.
What's this stuff down here?
It's a nice gag that they keep coming up with. The 4 adorable elves and the sweetest little castle made of sweets. So that's the theme behind Miss Scone's creations, huh? Unlucky for her, things aren't quite as sweet around here as she's trying to make out. These must be the various tools Miss Scone used to build her castle. Buckets filled with cream, trowels, and a brush. She a pastier or a plasterer?
Don't you go making jokes at my expense, you cheeky young devil. I don't just slap stuff on walls like a silly old plasterer. I have to spread the cream out lovely and smooth. They work out all the rough patches.
It's literally exactly what a plasterer does. Okay, so there's nothing. Okay, so then
Look at the castle itself. See,
that sounds like a good idea. It's an incredible piece of work. Hard to believe this old castle is made out of sugar and cream.
I know, right? It's like we're inside a magical medieval story or something.
I didn't know you were so into such fantastical things.
Sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Didn't mean to get so carried away there.
Oh, no need to apologize. I admire your enthusiasm. I sometimes wish my own son was as animated as you.
You have a son, Mr. E?
I do. He's still in elementary school, and yet he'd rather read a statute book than a fairy tale. A statute book than a fairy tale. I can't help but worry that his interests will make it hard for him to make friends.
Don't say that. He sounds super interesting. You'll make a ton of friends. Me included, I'm sure.
I'd like to think you'd be more of a big brother to him than a friend, Eddie.
A big brother, huh? Guess I have some growing up to do. Better take this more seriously.
Indeed. Then with that in mind, shall we continue our investigation? I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. He doesn't
Take a
seem
look
to
at these lamps. What's this?
There's supposed to be lamps here, but they're missing.
But they're in the door, looks like.
Oh, that's true. These pillars, they have hexagonal indentations. Looks like something's supposed to go in there. Well, whatever they were, they're long gone.
Hexagonal indentations, huh? I wonder...
There are hexagonal indentations in both pillars. I wonder what they're for. Castle's covered in whipped cream, so maybe a giant strawberry? Excuse me.
A giant strawberry with a hexagonal bottom?
Look, I like strawberries, okay? Can't blame a guy for wishing.
I prefer bananas myself.
Blueberries for me.
Well, look at those. Are these salt lamps?
Maybe. The doors of the castle have been left wide open.
Yeah. Was the guy born in a barn? Could have at least closed them behind him.
I'd like to see you say that to Mr. Von Karma's face, Eddie.
Wait, there's a bunch of stuff inside. Let's see.
Hold it, kid. If anybody's gonna be handling evidence, it'll be me. Let's see here. Cream's going all runny. The whipped cream is melting and will lose its shape at the slightest touch. Well, yeah, because it's too warm in here. It's all over the detective's shoes. Why are all these items being stored inside a candy castle? All right, tell me what you want me to look at first. 2 big rock crystals. Looks like somebody was using the castle for storage.
Kinda expected something a little more exciting behind those doors. Oh, I know. Maybe they're giant uncut gemstones. And maybe this whole thing is based on a story about a castle with a priceless treasure hidden inside.
I think I'd treat my priceless treasures with a little more care. There's something on the bottom of them.
Oh?
Looks like a little stand or something. For some reason, there are stands mounted on the bottom of the rock crystals we found inside the candy castle. So now we're gonna put that together.
Oh, I was right. They are gemstones. The stands must be so they can be put on display.
Well, whatever they are, it seems they're not just a large set of paperweights. So let's look at these. There's a bunch of blue cloth back there. 1, 2, 3, 4 rolls all together. Well, they certainly aren't made of candy. No idea what this stuff is for. Almost looks like somebody hid it in here. And I think I've seen fabric of the same color somewhere else before.
Hey, wait a minute.
Where did we see that? I don't
Didn't we
recall
see-
seeing that. What? Unless it was a tablecloth.
It may have been a tablecloth. Do you think maybe those were used to cover up blood?
Well, hang on a
I'm
second.
just
Let me. Hey.
What the
Hang on.
hell?
Okay, so the victim's body was found in Samson Tangaroa's room inside a chocolate treasure chest. The lid was closed up until the ship collapsed. A part of the treasure chest that was covered in blood is missing. Every other item in the room is also missing a piece of itself. The cause of death appears to have been blood loss following blunt force trauma. Yes, we have seen that before. There was a blue tarp on the body.
Oh.
Interesting. So what's going on here? All right, so time to put some stuff together. First and foremost, let's see, the rock crystal stands and the hexagonal indentations. Pretty self-explanatory. The rock crystal stands and the pillars in front of the castle feature the same hexagonal shape. I believe the crystals are meant to be placed on top of the pillars.
Oh, yeah. Hexagon to hexagon. Makes perfect sense.
But if that's the case, then why were they being hidden inside the castle? The rolls of blue cloth and the rock crystals inside the castle. I imagine both must belong to Miss Scone. Miss Scone, what were you using the items inside the castle for?
Sorry, Lambkin, but I'm not allowed to say.
Oh, withholding information from us, are we?
That is mad sus. Gregory boy, no ways. I on the potato has joined the stream.
Hey, what's up, boy? Greg, yes, indeed, Gregory Edgeworth in the flesh, my man, and he's every bit as cool as you thought he was. Let me guess, Von Karma?
Yeah, how did you know? Please don't ask me to tell you. You'll have my guts for garters.
It seems the prosecution really has no intention of sharing anything with the defense.
With his trench coat hat and stuff. With his trench coat hat and stuff, yes. Man, thought we were onto something with those giant rock crystals, but...
Oh, what's that, Gary? You're interested in my little trinkets?
Yeah, trinkets?
Yes, my sweet. I use them to make people all lovely and relaxed.
You use rock crystals and cloths to do that?
I do. It's wonderful. You should see it. And they're not just any old rock crystals either. They're great big lumps of salt with light inside them.
Wow, those things are lamps? She reminds me of Miss Potts. Remember her?
Yes, I do. Scone,
Scone, you look like you need to be... Scone, you look like you need to be burned. Zion Potato was on the job.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, that's not even half of it. There's closer and an even more exciting secret.
She really opened up the moment we started talking about her trinkets.
Isn't your hair? Why don't I give you lovely boys a taste of my relaxation magic,
Is that
that
dollar store
Little-
Little Debbie? Stereo.
Since you're here, oh, Buddy Pumpkin, can you give it all? Since you're here, why don't I give you lovely boys a taste of my relaxation magic? Oh, Paddy Pumpkin. Oh, Paddy Pumpkin. Can you get it all out and set it up for me?
The name is bad.
Did Cookie Mama let herself go?
No. Why are you being so selfish, Paddy Pumpkin?
Have you finished taking photos of this room yet?
Yes, sir. We have, sir.
Then help Miss Scone here with something, will ya?
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Oh, you're sweet at heart, aren't you, Paddy B?
That's amazing, Miss Scone. You got him to do exactly what you wanted. That's some talent.
Thank you ever so much, Paddykins. And you, Officer Lovely.
She's even giving nicknames to the forensics guys now.
I guess it's her way of showing that she cares. So, what about this is supposed to be relaxing exactly?
Oh, don't be a big sourpuss, Paddy B. The fun's only just beginning. Officer Lovely, you can switch it on now.
Yes, ma'am.
Click. Oh,
Ooh, nice. Wow, it's beautiful.
it is. I wish my son were here to see it.
Isn't it though? Isn't it just wonderful? The four adorable elves and the sweetest in the castle made of sweets. That's my theme, you see.
Scone,
Scone,
shut
shut
your
up.
big bird Julia Child looking ass up.
And I thought it would be extra lovely if it was all lit up. Isn't it the nicest thing you've ever seen?
One of the elves must be feeling a little left out.
This is how I was supposed to look for the contest. But I'm glad you lovely boys got to see it at least.
Wait, shouldn't the lamps be lit up too?
What's happened there, I wonder?
I think we'd better take a look at the lamps and the elves one more time.
Why not?
Okay, so there's a connection here, connection there. It's a cute little elf made of candy and sitting on a little tree stump. The fabric above it and the other decorations around it really add to the dreamlike atmosphere. Stare at it for too long and we might get swept up in the fantasy ourselves. Yeah, well, our job is to stay right here in reality and get to the bottom of all this. Nobody's getting swept up in any flights of fancy on my watch. No, okay, yep, I noticed that,
Oh, okay, so why isn't there
why isn't there a cloth above it? This elf doesn't have an illuminated cloth over it like the others.
It's not fair to leave the poor guy out, Miss Scone.
Well, I didn't want to, did I, dear?
And I'm proud of that stuff. Julia looks like Mrs. Potts trying to train on strawberry shortcake. You know what? Yeah, I said that before, and I think I can actually confirm that. She actually does look like Mrs. Potts.
But one of my claws and one of my little machines went missing.
A cloth and what sort of machine exactly?
Oh, you'll never guess how it all works. Those luminous claws are connected to these little thingamajigs.
Okay, so look like a small generator of some sort.
They're called, full spectrum light emitting devices. They send light down the main cable and through each optical fiber strand. That's what makes the cloth glow. With a little bit of fiddling, you can change the light to any color in the whole wide world.
Did I just say Julia instead of Scone?
Bright red like ferocious fiery flames. Cold blue like clinking crystals of ice. They have these special batteries that last for donkey's years, and they don't mind the cold at all.
Forgive me, so these machines,
What makes the special luminous cloth light up in all these beautiful colors, Mr. E?
I see. I see. So much new technology. I can barely keep up.
Half of me is sorry.
That's okay. So these light-emitting devices, you lost one of them and a piece of luminous cloth?
It's right, Lambkin.
Heaven only knows where they could have got to.
This cloth, it could have something to do with the case. Luminous cloth added to the court record. Special color changing cloth belonging to Scone. She's lost a roll of it, along with the device that powers it.
Hey, Zion, did you see the Nintendo Direct earlier today? And if so, what do you think of the Nintendo Switch 2?
Yeah, I feel like every sweet has a sour moment. Scone is not who she says she is. You know what? Nobody's ever who they say they are. So let me see if I can piece some stuff together. Say blunt force trauma, high temperature, runny. Okay, high temperature and runny cream for sure. Let's put it
Yes.
together. Boop. The whipped cream in this room is collapsing because the temperature is too high. It's 68 degrees. My messed up shoes can vouch for that. And yet, when you open the doors to the castle, the handles themselves were just fine.
Also, I saw the Nintendo Switch 2 add-on yet, and it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
I agree, Zion.
Yeah, they were sturdier than expected. Sturdy? That's not the way I would describe most things made of confectionaries. I think we better take another look at those handles, don't you? What the? I think it's safe to say those handles aren't made of candy. It's not just the handles, the whole castle, the little elves. They're all just plastic models with whipped cream smeared on top.
What? So none of this is confectionery art after all?
Is
that a giant-
good.
Is that a giant cake? I don't
Not
think it
necess-
looks like a giant cake. It's
No,
more,
it's more like a giant candy castle. But I'll tell you what, she'd do anything to win, right? Even though the room is too warm, why isn't the candle melted? Why are all the elves up? Because it's not food.
yeah, that's why he said never effing mind. So, yep, I guess you
Yep.
figured it out.
You got some splaining to do. No, it's simply made to look like candy, with the cream having been added to lend it all an air of authenticity. So Scone's confections were all fakes. What was she up to?
What indeed?
Oh boy.
Piece
So let's
that
see
together
here.
if you would.
Okay, I don't know if we can put the blunt force trauma and the fake confections together. Can't do that, so we gotta talk to her now. Anyway.
What's the matter, Miss Scone? You seem a whole lot less cheerful than you were a minute ago. Oh, wait a minute. Oops. Okay, hold on a sec. Her cheating ass can't cook, and here I am getting hungry over a phony. Timed out, Zion, for too many caps. Don't gotta fix that.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that from the last episode. Sorry, brother. Is it Mr. Von Karma? Did something happen between you two?
Oh, yes, nothing happened at all.
Why, yes, nothing happened at all. That's contradictory in and of itself.
But you just said yes.
That was a hello, yes, you silly boy. Aren't you just as sweet as little sugar dumpling? Remind me, what was your name again?
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie Lumpkin. Oh, you go far, dearie, I can tell.
Eddie Lumpkin?
It seems our English gentlewoman is taking a liking to you, Eddie. No small accomplishment.
Not exactly what I picture when I think of a gentlewoman, Mr. E.
Never mind that now. We should ask her a few questions while we can. During the contest, could you tell us about what you did over the course of the contest?
Of course, dearie, let's see. It all started at about 10 in the morning. That's when we set to work. And, well, I spent most of the time here in my room getting everything ready, as you'd expect. Oh, and then there was a lovely afternoon tea for an hour or so from around 1, I think.
Afternoon tea?
It's an English tradition, a chance to drink tea, enjoy a snack, and make small talk.
So? Kind of like recess?
I suppose you could say that.
Oh,
Oh, you really know your onions, don't you, Greggy Pegleg? Such a clever boy.
Peg leg? But he's got 2 feet. What are you talking about? When did I become Greggy? And where was this afternoon tea served?
Out in the garden, of course. There's a lovely little one just outside. They do it at the same hour every break time during the contest. Lay on a nice little spread, you know. But today, only me, Samson Silly Pants, and Moody Judy were there for it. Sammy Poop already finished his big creation, so he was there the whole time.
So let's see, Samson, okay.
But poor old Chili Winks and Gusty Pants had to miss out because he hadn't finished yet, bless them.
Frost and Gusto, she means.
Yeah.
You're saying everybody except Mr. Frost and Mr. Gusto was present?
That's right, dear. To tell you the truth, I hadn't finished yet either. But I wasn't about to miss out on tea and cake served by our 2 TV superstars. I went right back to work when I'd finished, though. Tooted off while the others were still nattering away.
And at any point during the contest, did you visit any of the other competitors' rooms?
No, dear, don't be silly.
You see how quickly she reacted to that?
Dun, dun, dun.
Herlock Sholmes would be all over that reaction. That's strange, because your fingerprints were found in Mr. Tangaroa's room.
Caught red-handed.
Wait, so you admit you were there?
Oh, well, I can hardly deny it now, can I? But I didn't kill anybody, I swear. I suppose I better tell you what really happened. Just promise you'll believe me, won't you, dear?
What really happened? What exactly were you doing in Mr. Tangaroa's room?
Well, I suppose you call it research.
Research?
Sammy Poop was a dumb hand when it comes to the old sweet making. Everybody knows that. So when I noticed there was no one in there, I just popped in for a quick bit of research, like I say.
Scone visited another contestant's room in the name of research. What kind of research leaves fingerprints?
Yes, that's right. Well, it stands to reason I'd leave fingerprints, doesn't it? After all, it's hardly research if you don't have a little nibble now, is it?
So she's the one taking little pieces and eating them. Okay, that solves that mystery.
What? You ate little pieces of them?
So, the traces of tampering in Mr. Tangaroa's room, that was all you?
I'm ever so sorry, sweeties. I didn't mean to make a mess. I had to take a little bite here and there, didn't I? I didn't want poor Sammy people getting upset, so it was just the teeniest bit in pieces. And
the stand holding up the ship. You took a bite out of that too, I suppose.
Oh yes, dear, of course I did.
It was you. You brought the whole thing crashing down.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my lovely. Truly I am. Hold on. Is that why you left the afternoon tea early? You were heading off for a second help at a sweets? Oh, look, just please believe me. I never killed anybody, I promise.
Her actions were certainly suspicious, but that's about all we can say for now.
Okay, get out of there.
So now what? Okay, so that obviously fake confections and okay. I wonder if we can put these two together.
Yeah, she was doing research, remember?
Nope. I suppose that was a bit forced. Let's put these two together.
I don't think that's the case. Nope.
There's no connection there.
All right,
Perhaps I was a little hasty.
Okay, let's back out of that. Let's look at the castle again. See what's that generator for?
Well, yeah, the generator's to power the lights. Whoa! Hello! There's a blood stain there.
Oh my goodness, that could be one of the murder weapons. Emphasis on could.
I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. Well, this caught my attention. The lamps appear to be broken. Bulbs are smashed. Both of them.
Maybe they fell and broke on the floor. Look, there's a red stain on the one on the left.
That's not just a stain. Yep. It's blood, all right. I can smell it. The salt lamp is stained with somebody's blood. Get forensics on that ASAP.
What? Blood?
Why is there blood on this lamp? Could it have something to do with why its bulb is broken? We'd better take a closer look at the other one, too. So Ms. Scone had actually intended to use these lamps in her display. Then why were they stashed inside the castle?
Maybe because they're broken?
Except, there's plenty of other places she could have put them.
The best place to hide some salt is in some sugar. Isn't that how it goes?
Or perhaps the best place to hide a tree is in a forest. Anyway, if her intention was to put all these salt lamps in her final display, that contradicts a certain piece of evidence in my possession.
The crime scene, perhaps?
If her intention was to put these salt lamps in her final display, a certain piece of evidence, which one? I'll need to point it out by making a deduction.
All right, point the blood stain. Point at the blood stain and deduce.
Could this be related to the evidence somehow? Yeah.
The crime scene, perhaps?
Eureka!
Look at this, Detective Bad. Don't you think it's a little strange? No, it's you who's a little strange. Gah. Maybe you need a little blood sugar boost. Gets the brain working. How about a lolly? $2 a pop. That's a bit steep. Anyway, is it just me? Or isn't there something in the evidence that these decorations go against? All right, let me look at the evidence again. So let's see here. Obviously, it's like, non-confectionery items may not be used as decoration. So that's what it is. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Eureka!
Yes.
Take a look at the list of rules for the contest, Detective. Non-confectionery items may not be used as decoration. That means the salt lamps and the luminous cloths would both have been against the rules. Scone used decorations that weren't made from confectionaries.
Is that why they were stashed away inside the castle?
I think we need to dig a little further into this with Ms. Scone before we can say for sure.
All right, time to talk to her. Present this.
Oh, look at that. Don't you have the loveliest toys, Greggy Pegleg? But that collar. Oh no, that won't do. Here, let me put a lovely splotch of cream on it.
Please stop that.
That's not. What about the cloth?
Actually, time out. We need to put something together. Now, okay, Scone's rule breaking and fake confections. So not only did she use decorations that were against the rules, she didn't even make any real sweets. Ms. Scone made a mockery of the rules. Yeah, guess she's not gonna get crowned world's greatest now.
Why is it so warm in here? You think it's got something to do with all this?
Fake confections added to the court record. Ms. Scone's so-called creations were all fake plastic models, covered in a thick layer of whipped cream. That's a good question. I think we'd better go ask Miss Scone herself.
Yeah, but first, I'm curious. Blunt force trauma and the salty lamps. Could it?
Yes, you pointed that out very well.
That must be it.
Yep. We know that the victim was struck and killed with something blunt, and we found blood on one of the lamps, which has a smashed bulb inside. Could the lamp not have been the murder weapon?
For sure. It could definitely do enough damage to kill someone.
You, science guy, did you finish analyzing the blood from the lamp yet?
Yes, sir. Just got done a minute ago, sir. The blood is the victim's, no doubt about it.
Oh. Dun, dun, dun.
Intrigue.
There you have it. Salt lamp added to the court record. Salt lamp found in Scone's room, stained with the victim's blood. So the murder weapon was hidden in Ms. Scone's room. I'm beginning to think we may need to add her to our list of suspects.
Well, time to talk to her. You got some bleeding to do.
Temperature of the room. Miss Scone, why is the temperature of your room set to 68 degrees?
Because I hate the cold, don't I, dearie? And besides, being chilly's no good for a girl. If I want to keep my fresh-faced complexion, I've got to be careful about these things. We ladies have to stay young, don't you know?
How old is she really, though? That's what I'd like to know.
It's not polite to speculate on a person's age, Eddie. But most of your work is made out of whipped cream, and whipped cream needs to be kept at 50 degrees or it starts to deflate.
Is that so, dearie? Well, silly me, eh? I've only gone and made a whoopsie.
Wait, she really didn't know that?
Scone doesn't seem to know basic facts about making confectionery. Oh, Jesus. World-class confectioner, my foot. Not only did she break the rules by using fake candy, she's ignorant of basic facts about her supposed craft. Miss Scone grows more mysterious by the minute. I think we might try to put those two together. Confectionery research, lack of knowledge.
Aha!
Miss Scone appears to lack basic knowledge about how confectionery is created, and she says that she snuck into another entrance room for research purposes. Hardly the actions of a world-class confectioner competing for a major prize. Yeah, not how I picture a top pro acting. Does she maybe just lack a little confidence, or is she not actually a confectioner at all? Perhaps she had another agenda altogether. After all, we only have her word for it that she went into that room to do some research.
Wait, you mean maybe she went in there to commit a murder?
There's no way of saying so for certain just yet. But she is hiding something. That much I'm certain of.
Investigation complete.
Refill. That's enough investigating for now, don't you think? Yes, we've certainly found plenty of interest. Something's been bothering me for a while now. Mr. Von Karma would have surely found the murder weapon when he searched this room, and yet he didn't arrest Ms. Scone. He didn't even seem interested in questioning her. I think our first priority should be to find out what he's really up to. Detective Bad, I have a few things I'd like to ask Mr. Von Karma. Me too. Him and Scone.
Oh, how could you, Buddy Pumpkin? Stop staring at me like that.
Why is Bad being a fanny?
Who knows? It appears Detective Bad is just as suspicious of Mr. Von Karma and Ms. Scone as I am. Miss Scone, would you be so kind as to accompany us?
Of course, dear. Where we off to?
To find Mr. Von Karma. December 24th, 8:05 p.m., contest venue, Fountain Room. Here we go.
There he is.
Mr. Von Karma, we'd like to speak with you if that's all right.
Tisk. Judging by your faces, I'm guessing you found the murder weapon.
We did. It was in Ms. Scone's room. Which means that Mr. Tangaroa should no longer be the only person of interest.
Ha! Nonsense!
How does he not age?
Is he a vampire? Maybe.
It doesn't matter where the weapon was found. Tangaroa is guilty. and as long as this is my case, guilty he shall remain.
How can he be so sure of Mr. Tangaroa's guilt? You have an explanation, I assume, for why the murder weapon was in Miss Scone's room.
Of course I do, and I'll be delighted to share it with you.
Get ready for one epic battle. The murder weapon.
Tangaroa killed Frost with one of Scone's salt lamps in order to frame her for the murder. To complete the deception, he took it back to a room once the deed was done. After all, if it had been found near the victim's body, Tangaroa would have seemed doubly suspicious. A body may be hard to move, but a murder weapon considerably less so. And that is why there was no piece of evidence on the scene that pointed to a particular suspect.
So it's your assertion that Mr. Tangaroa took the salt lamp back to Miss Scone's room?
It is indeed. But it is more than an assertion. It is a fact based on my own investigation.
You mean you have proof that he did so?
I don't need any such thing. Tisk. If you have a rebuttal, I'll be happy to hear it. But I highly doubt you'll be able to fault my logic.
All right, go get this bastard. Time for a rebuttal. The murder weapon.
Tangaroa killed Frost with one of Scone's salt lamps in order to frame her for the murder. To complete the deception, he took it back to a room once the deed was done. After all, if it had been found near the victim's body, Tangaroa would have seemed doubly suspicious. A body may be hard to move, but a murder weapon considerably less so. And that is why there was no piece of evidence on the scene that pointed to a particular suspect.
I beg to differ. We're gonna take then what the heck is that seal inside the coffin there?
Objection!
Objection.
Good hit.
It's true that the murder weapon and the bloodstained chocolate were removed from the scene of the crime, but something else remained that does point to one person in particular. Take another look at the photograph of the body, if you will. The cloth covering the victim's lower half, is that not one of the same luminous cloths we found in Miss Scone's room?
What's that, dearie? One of my lovely colourful clothes? At the scene of the crime, you say?
Luminous cloth? Nonsense! I see no light to speak of.
I guess he doesn't know how it works.
It may look like ordinary fabric at first glance, but attach one of these light-emitting devices, and the difference soon becomes apparent.
Look at his face. I don't think he was expecting that.
But the fact that the cloth can be lit up is neither here nor there. We have to show why it's important. One of the rolls of cloth from Miss Scone's room went missing, and if you look closely at the blue cloth in the picture, wouldn't you say it's clearly made of the same material, Mr. Von Karma? The salt lamp and the luminous cloth both belong to Miss Scone, and seeing as the body was wrapped in said cloth, surely even you have to admit that's suspicious. Mr. Von Karma, I think it's time to accept that a number of factors point to Miss Scone as a person of interest.
Greggy Pegleg, how could you? You're accusing me of all people.
I'm not accusing you of anything just yet, but I do think you're hiding something.
That's not...
Objection! Just to clarify, your assertion is that both the murder weapon and the cloth were in Miss Scone's room prior to the murder?
Exactly.
Tisk.
Is something funny?
Only that you walked so carelessly into my trap.
Ah, shut up, Count Dracula.
Love it. That's great.
Neither the cloth nor the murder weapon were in fact in her room. So sorry to have to break it to you.
What does he mean?
Tangaroa spotted them before the contest began and noted that the laps and cloths contravened the rules. He subsequently confiscated them and took them to his own room for safekeeping.
What?
Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost as he had scheduled himself in his room.
Secluded.
Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost as he had secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tangaroa, possessing, as he did, the only key. And as you now know, he was also in possession of the lamp used to commit the murder. So you see, I have had everything I need to get Tangaroa convicted all along. Well, how does it feel to have lost to me before even setting foot in the courtroom?
This can't be happening.
Wait, all our hard work was for nothing? Miss Scone, why didn't you tell us your stuff was confiscated by Mr. Tangaroa? Well, dear, Mannequin said that if I spilled the beans, I'd end up being the one under suspicion. Mr. Von Karma said that. And he wasn't wrong now, was he? You two accused me yourselves just a second ago.
Pathetic.
Curse you, Von Karma. You led us to the murder weapon knowing we'd make certain assumptions as a result.
What a bastard.
Yeah.
One more thing, my pathetic friend. There are two, and only two, sets of fingerprints on the murder weapon.
2.
Yes, those of Delicious Scone and Samson Tangaroa. No others was found. Tangaroa used the lamp he had confiscated to murder Frost, and was foolish enough to hide it in Stone's room without first removing his fingerprints. At this rate, no one will even need to testify. My perfect evidence will do all the talking for me as I secure his guilty verdict.
Objection. But wait. What about the luminous cloth that was left behind in Mr. Tangaroa's room?
What about it? He probably meant to return it after disposing of the body.
I don't have enough to disprove any of what he's saying.
No more pitiful objections? Then get out of my sight and close the door behind you!
Mr. E!
I'm not about to just give up.
I see you mean to waste more of my time. Bad? Escort them off the premises, now!
Hold it. This investigation is not over yet. Detective Bad.
What is the meaning of this?
Sorry.
I'll close the door on your face. Damn right, Zion.
Sorry, but I'm not in the habit of leaving cases half solved. There's still one last thing from the crime scene we haven't identified. Oh. He's right. We still have the evidence of somebody's activities to account for.
We can discuss your lingering doubts at our leisure, Detective. But whatever they might be, they're no business of the defense's.
Objection!
Objection. I beg to differ. There's a piece of evidence I'm still not satisfied about either. And I suspect it might be the same thing that's bothering Detective Bad.
What?
This is the yet unidentified something that was left in Mr. Tangaroa's room. The seal.
Take that!
We still haven't properly identified this piece of evidence.
That's not it.
That's not what I was thinking of. Oh?
It seems you're the only one who isn't satisfied here. And I assure you, there is no such thing as an unidentified piece of evidence to avoid karma.
Ugh. Oh, I picked the wrong thing. Still, a single question does remain. This is the yet unidentified something that was left in Mr. Tangaroa's room. Okay, hold up. Let me just... it's either the finger marks... No, it's got to be the finger marks. It has to be. It's the only thing that's left.
Take that!
There are finger marks on one of Mr. Tangaroa's creations. Supposing they belong to the murderer, it could certainly explain how their prints didn't end up on the murder weapon.
How do you know so much about the crime scene?
Because I let them look around.
Objection! You let the defense examine the scene, Bad? Or you out of your mind?
I don't remember you telling me not to.
Insolent worm! You would do well to remember this then, Detective. That the results of your next salary review are up to me.
Oof.
Detective Bad's in trouble now. Detective Bad's in trouble now, too. I'm sure glad you're my boss, Mr. Edgeworth.
And you do well to remember that the results of your salary review are up to your performance here.
A mere attorney uncovering such a fact based on a cursory investigation? I'm almost impressed. But it's entirely possible that those finger marks belong to Tangaroa. After all, he wore gloves while preparing his creations.
Objection!
Objection. But can you prove conclusively that the finger marks are his? Furthermore, there is still something about Ms. Scone that doesn't add up.
Is there? Or are you simply not prepared to admit defeat?
Oh, stop it, Greggy. Stop it. Why are you being so mean to your poor pal, Delicia? I don't have to nibbly for some improved sweeties. What more do you want?
I don't want to have to make you a suspect, that much is certain. But you lied to us, and you're still not telling us everything.
Greggy, stop it. Stop bullying me.
I'm sorry, but you don't even know the temperature whipped cream should be kept at. What kind of professional confectioner doesn't know something as fundamental as that?
I'm sorry, all right? I'm sorry. I'm just a silly, muddle-headed girl. What more do you want me to say?
I don't think you're muddle-headed at all. I think that you were never a confectioner in the first place.
Objection! Enough! I'll thank you to keep your baseless accusations to yourself. Evidence is everything in a courtroom, in case you've forgotten. If you're going to accuse a witness of perjury, then I demand that you present something to back it up.
But this isn't a courtroom, is it? Nevertheless,
I knew it.
What proof do I have that Ms. Scone doesn't know the first thing about making desserts?
Too many symbols? You gotta fix that, bro.
Yeah, Miss Scone's so-called creations were all fake plastic models.
Take that.
Every single one of Miss Scone's creations break the rules of the contest.
Objection! The offending items, the costs and the lamps were duly confiscated as we have established. And the witness did not go and bring them back to her room herself.
Objection.
Objection. But those weren't the only rule-breaking items in her room.
What?
The entire fantastical world Miss Scone created, every last bit of it. It's all just a collection of plastic models slathered in whipped cream. That cream is the only authentic confectionery in the room. No real world title contender would ever stoop so low.
Is this true, Bad?
Yep, saw it with my own eyes, stepped in it with my own shoes.
Did we finally convince him?
I bet not. With her lies exposed like this, surely he can't continue to deny the facts. Miss Scone, your actions place you firmly on our list of suspects.
But no, dear, I'm no killer.
Then why don't you finally start telling us the truth? Who are you really, and why were you tampering with your rival's work?
All right. The truth is, I'm not the adorable little cook you see before you. I'm actually a pharmacist, if you can believe it.
Huh? The heck
What
are you
the
talking
heck?
about? The heck are you talking about? It's weird.
A pharmacist?
I can't blame him for being so surprised. This couldn't be further from what we'd imagined. So what's somebody in your line of work doing entering a contest like this one?
Well, I just love eating sweeties, if you must know. And Sammy Hooper's sweets are the best, or so they say. I just had to enter. I didn't mean to end up making it all the way to the final.
Even Mr. Von Karma is lost for words.
That's it? That's the only reason you're here? Yes, dearie, and it was worth it. Samson's Silly Pants sweets are the tastiest treats I ever did eat.
And the finger marks? Were you the one wearing the gloves?
No, that wasn't me, dear. I don't even wear gloves.
Remember, Ms. Scone's fingerprints were found elsewhere in Mr. Tangaroa's other creations. I'd say that points to her not having worn any gloves.
Exactly, Lambkin. Greggy Pegleg's got the right end of the stick. I am an innocent woman.
Objection! Is your head filled with cream too?
Sorry, mannequins.
Her head may not be filled with cream, but she's certainly no master of subterfuge. Ms. Scone, were Mr. Tangaroa's works the only ones you sampled?
No, dear. I couldn't help myself. When I'd finished my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chili Wings' room for a little taste, too.
Huh. You were in the victim's room, too?
Yes, dear. Nobody was in there, as you see.
Quite possibly because the occupant was already dead.
But I could only stomach one little bite. I never tasted anything so salty in all my life. So I had myself one of the tastiest star-shaped bits off to the side to cleanse my palate. You have quite the sweet tooth, don't you, Miss Scone?
Indeed. What didn't she sample?
That's everything, I promise. Greggy Peggles, mannequins, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make a mess of things.
As long as what you've told us is the truth, that's all that matters in the end.
Do not think for a second that this means I myself believe you. I'm going to investigate the victim's room now. We'll see how truthful you've really been after I'm through.
Mr. Von Karma, please let us accompany you. I think it's only fair that we be allowed to investigate the veracity of our conclusions.
Accompany me if you like, but don't think for a second you'll be permitted to conduct your own investigation.
We'd like to accompany you all the same. December 24th, 9 p.m. Contest venue, Frost's room.
Here we go.
We're just over 2 hours.
What is the meaning of this?
Whoa!
What the hell?
When we got when we got the Frost room, we saw nada. It was all gone. The whole enchilada. Was this the work of the culprit? A dead body hidden in a chocolate chest? A murder weapon moved mysteriously to another room? This case was a real peach. It was gonna take some serious sleuthing to get to the bottom of it all. To be continued. This is perfect.
Yep. Gotta go.
So we'll save our progress first because you never know. So, yep.
Very special thank you to Zion the Potato for joining our stream. Unfortunately, he had to take.
Yeah, so I promise I'll reconfigure this. I'll reconfigure the settings on the monitors to make the chat rules a little lax, or at least outline them to let you know what they are. So, but thank you all the same. You know, you're an absolute peach. So until next week, kids. I'm the Cannonball Alex Steele.
I am the Package Andrew Steele.
We are the Steele Brothers.
And we are for real.
Top guys out. Ciao.
Adios, muchacho.